Hello internet people, my name is Robert, and in this easy to follow beginner's ConvertKit tutorial you will learn how to use this email marketing software to its full potential. I will show you how to set up a form and add it to your website, and if you don't have a website, then I'll show you how to create a landing page to collect emails, and in return you can choose to send a free ebook or any other digital product to the subscriber, and it's all automatic in ConvertKit. Then we will dive into sending one-off emails either immediately or on a certain date. If that's not enough, I'll show you how to create email sequences and automate your emails based on subscribers' action or their previous preferences. For those of you that want to sell digital products or monetize your email newsletter, I will show you how to set up a product page and connect it to a payment method, so you can sell directly from ConvertKit. At the end of the video, we will get more professional and connect a custom domain name to ConvertKit and even verify sending domain, which will help your emails to avoid the receiver's spam folder.
Tips with punch.
To get started with the tutorial, head to the description of this video and click on the first link. This is my affiliate link and the tool has a free plan, but if you decide at some point that you want to pay for this tool, I will get a small commission and you will support my channel at no extra cost to you. Since this is a complete ConvertKit tutorial, I've added timestamps to the timeline of this video, so if you're interested in a specific topic, just feel free to jump from one section to another. So this is ConvertKit's homepage, and here we don't need to do anything else except sign up for free here. Let's click on this button. Then let's add our name and email address, and then add a secure password. Then check this checkbox if you agree with terms and services, and let's get started. So for the onboarding process, ConvertKit asks few questions. So if you're new to this, you can answer, no, I'm just starting out. Let's choose that one. Then audience size, right now we don't have anybody, so let's just choose this one. But obviously if other options apply to you, just choose that. And for this example, I'm gonna pretend to be a coach, a YouTube coach. So let's click on continue. So here you can select what you're what are you trying to achieve. I'm gonna grow my list. And here you have a welcome video from ConvertKit. We don't need that, we can close it down. And this is basically your ConvertKit dashboard. Let's start by checking out what's in the dashboard. So you have the grow section where you have the subscribers, where you can manage your subscribers and import subscribers, and also manage the landing pages and forms we're going to create later on in this tutorial. Then you have the send section, which you have the broadcast emails, which are kind of one-off emails. Then you have the sequences. This is where you create a sequence of emails. Then you have automate. This is where you can set up automation and rules for your emails. So based on certain actions, when people take an action in ConvertKit, you can do send an email or place them in another newsletter or anything you want. We're gonna touch on that as well. Then you have the earn section where you can create products and tip jars, and then learn section. This is where you can find tutorials from ConvertKit about their tool. So let's start the tutorial by going to the settings section. So you click on your name here at the top and then click on settings, and we're gonna just set some important settings so that later on we don't need to worry about them. It just speeds up the flow once you set them up. So here you can skip these. You have my profile. You can also create a profile like a creator profile, impact your email. So I'm gonna go just inside the email, and this is where it gets a bit more interesting. So here right off the bat, you can see that you have the email addresses. This is what your users will see when you send out an email. You'll see from name, Robert, email address, this one. So if you want to change that, you can add another from address. Now, you do need to own that email, so you cannot just add a random email and just have it. So for example, here, pending, I have to go into my email and then verify that I owned the email address or the domain. So let's do that right now. And so this is my email address for my custom domain. You can see I need to verify the email. And if you're interested how to use your business email with Gmail, check out the flyout that shows up here on the top right now. I'll show you how to connect your email with Gmail. So let's verify the email. I'm going to click on the button. And now the email address has been confirmed. So I can close this one and my email address, email inbox, and then refresh the page here. And now you can see confirmed. That's great. That's all we need for now. Then you can adjust the time zones here. So for example, here, I'm not in US, I am in Amsterdam, like this. And I can select at what time the emails will be sent by default. So let's say I want it to be somewhere in the morning, something 8 a.m., 9 a.m., something like that. So this is the default settings, and don't worry, we can always override. It's just a default setting. Then you have the mailing address. We need to set this up, but the good thing is that ConvertKit provides us an address. So if you don't have like a business address that you're comfortable sharing here, don't worry, we just can click on this link and they provide here an address that we can fill in. So let's do that. Seattle. I'm gonna fill it in like this. Now this looks great. Let's save the changes so we don't forget about it. Now we have the address, unsubscribe survey. So if somebody unsubscribes from your email list, you can ask them some questions. It's automatic. So I'm going to enable it because I'm interested to see, maybe I'm sending out wrong kind of emails. And this is a good way of finding out. And then for the European users, here's the GDPR settings. So if you're in Europe, I would just check the show only to subscribers currently in EU and UK. This way, you are GDPR compliant.
That said, the GDPR pop-up is not that pretty. Here's an example of one, and it can scare people from signing up to your newsletter. So I would check if you're able to get the consent in other ways. There's a great article on ConvertKit's website. I'll leave a link in the description. The pop-up is not the only option, so check out how others do it, and maybe that's the way to go.
Like this, let's save the changes, and this we're good. Let's go to domains. I just want to show you that here later on you're able to adjust your domain name. So right now, if you create a page in ConvertKit, this is the URL you'll see, and you can just change it from here. For example, let's change it like this. Tips with Punch, great. Then you have the custom domains. I'll show you later in this tutorial how to set this up. Basically, instead of having this domain name as your landing page, you could have something like, I don't know, mydomainname.com. That way it looks a bit more professional, and I do recommend you setting up something like that because it just adds that legitimacy to your emails and to your landing page. And then you can also verify sending domain. This is a bit more advanced. This is when you start sending out more emails. But at the end of this tutorial, I'll show you how to do this as well.
This tells email providers like Gmail that you are a real person or a business, and you have given ConvertKit permissions to send emails from your domain.
That way the email clients can check if you actually own it or is this a spam email. So let's go ahead and save the changes. And now we're done with the settings, so we can go back to the dashboard. I'm going to close this tab here at top. Next, let's just go to Grow tab and click on subscribers. And we're going to just add ourselves as a subscriber so we can kind of monitor what's going on and how do the emails look like, and just that everything is all right. And the other reason we want to create a subscriber is just so that we have the segments and tags. These are super important in ConvertKit because this is the way you can separate your subscribers from each other. So for example, if you have two different offers, you're able to tag each user that signs up for that offer. And that way you can then later target them with specific emails. That just makes it more personalized and just increases your chances of sales or leads or whatever you are after. So let's start by creating a subscriber. You can just click on this button, add subscriber. And first it will ask us to create a tag because we don't have any. So I'm just gonna base mine on interest. So for example, interested in YouTube course, because that's what I'm going to sell here or what I'm gonna promote. I'm gonna create the tag and now add a single subscriber, or you can import from CSV or from another provider. Let's start by adding a single subscriber, and here you can just add the first name, then the email, like this. And you can see that the tag has been selected, and that's all right. I'm gonna save it. Okay, now it added. There's some stats now since we have one subscriber, but that's kind of useless. We can scroll down. Let's create another tag, and let's say this one is interested in affiliate marketing course. So let's save. You can see that both of those tags appear here. Now you can add multiple tags, and it'll be much more clear to you how you want to differentiate between subscribers. And next, since we already have a few tags, let's create a segment just to show you how that works. And segments are kind of collections of tags or collections of people. You can group subscribers in certain ways. So for example, in this case, these subscribers will be, this segment will be all about interested in a course. So interested in a course, I'm gonna add any, add a filter, and instead of all subscribers, I'm gonna choose here subscribe to, then tags, and I can select from here interested in affiliate marketing course and also interested in YouTube courses. So now I can target both of these groups with an email, for example. Let's say I have a discount on all my courses. This way I can target both of them. So I'm gonna add the filter. Now, if matching any of the following, so subscribe to interested in affiliate marketing course or interested in YouTube course. So now this segment will target both of them. I'm just gonna save the segment here. Right, it's now saved. You can see I have one segment and two tags. If you have other tool already and you have some subscribers there and you wanna import them here, you can do that by clicking on add subscribers and then import a CSV. And here you can either select or drag a CSV file here. I'm gonna just drag and drop. And this file is from MailerLite, so I use their export. I'm now importing it here. Here we just need to map the header of the CSV file to the field in ConvertKit. So for example here, email, that's corresponding to email in ConvertKit, and same thing with name, it's first name. Now you'll notice there's also tags. I have a sign up page in my MailerLite, but you can also select comma separated tags. So you can select the tags here, but keep in mind, for example, if I select it now, and for example, the sample data here says YouTube course, and I don't have that tag. You can see here, I don't have that tag. That means it will just create a new tag with this name, which still is better than not having it, because at least you can then combine the two tags or move people from one tag to another. So I would still do it. So I'm gonna keep it this way. Now if I scroll down, I can import the subscribers. Okay, nothing seems to happen. Oh, okay. I also forgot to add the users to a sequence or a tag. In this case, it doesn't make sense to add to a tag because I already have tags, so it's gonna get messy. Instead, I'm gonna choose the forms, and there's already one that is created for us. I'm just gonna do that. Select the newsletter, and now scroll down and import subscribers. Let's see if there's any errors. No. Okay, it takes a bit of time. And now you can see here, they're processing my import. You will receive email once it's done. Great. Right now, we don't see anything here. And sometimes if you just refresh the page, you'll see all those contacts here. And as mentioned, you see here, I have 2 more tags because those have been added now. So you have now 4 subscribers, 3 of them are fake, and I have here myself. So it's not a big win, but still, this is a great start. And let's now go back to the dashboard. And you see it has changed a little bit for us. And what we can see now here is, you see this one? Email sending is disabled until your account has been approved. So let's click on that banner. So here you have a bot that appears, and you can choose here, start the approval process. And take a bit of time to actually do this because they do review this. And if you just type in some random stuff, you might get declined. So take a bit of time and write things down. So I'll just copy paste something that I already prepared. So I'll paste the text I already prepared like this. I'm just being truthful and just explaining what I'm going to use ConvertKit for. And then it's asking, what is your website URL? And then it's just how many subscribers you're going to import. So I'm going to select the smaller amount. I do have more, but just for this tutorial, I'm going to choose the smaller amount. And you can see that you'll hear about the approval in about 24 hours of reaching out. So let's see how it goes. Maybe they are faster than 24 hours. Usually there shouldn't be a problem if you're a legit business, if you're a legit person and actually wanting to grow your business. I think they have this process now just to monitor who's signing up for their services, and this way they can avoid a lot of spammers. That one is out of the way, so we can just close this window now. Next, let's create a way to collect emails automatically, because adding them manually is just not sustainable. You can do that by either having your own website or creating a page in ConvertKit. You go to Grow in the menu and then select Landing Page and Forms. And if you scroll down, you have already one that's been created for you, and we're gonna just create a new one. Now you get to choose if you're gonna create a form, which is if you already have a website, this is a great way of collecting emails, or a landing page. I'm gonna start with form because most of you already have some sort of website where you can collect. But later on, I will also show how to do it for landing page. So let's just do it for form. Let's select form. And there's few different options here. So you have inline, modal, slide in, and sticky bar. Now it's up to you which one you use. So inline is, it looks like this. It's just between the content. You can put it anywhere in your blog or between your blog post. Then you have the modal, which is pops out on a trigger. You can put either a certain amount of seconds or when somebody clicks on a button. Slide in is same thing as modal, but it slides in from the side of the page. You can see here's an example. And then the sticky bar is just a bar on top that will be there until somebody clicks on it, and then it will open up the form. So in my case, I prefer to use the inline, but they kind of work the same way. Next, you can choose a template. So here's a few options. Yeah, I would choose something that's close to what you want to build, so you have less things to do. So for example, this is quite traditional one. So an image and then some information. So I'm gonna choose this one. Now, if you ever used any tools like this one where you build a page or forms, they kind of work all the same. Here, you can just click on the text and start typing, and it will change the text. And on the right-hand side, you have more settings. So for example, let's say this form is about getting a freebie. Get your free ebook. And this is the field. And I actually want to add another field. I can click on this plus. And instead of custom field, I'm going to select custom field and first name. Great. Now I would like to have first name first. So like this, I'll drag it up here. And now I will make both of them required. Email is required anyway. I'm going to make a first name also required. And then I'm going to style the fields a little bit. So you could change now the color, for example, to more dark like this. You see, the text is changing. You see font color. Here's the border color, and you can also change that a bit darker. I feel like it's a bit too vague there. Otherwise, I'll keep it like this. And for the text itself, I jumped quite quickly, but you have few settings here as well. So for example, if you're not happy with the size, you can just increase it here or change the color here. Then you can click on the button and you can change the background color. I would definitely change because this looks like the button is disabled. So I could now change it to, for example, let's say blue is my website color. Then I would change it to this. But actually on my website, I have a bit more purple. So I'm going to change to something like this. Or you can also use a hex code and just paste in your color here. Border radius just means how rounded this these corners are. You can see it's a little bit rounded, and I can make it sharp by making 0, or I can make it very like almost a circle by adding more to it. I'm gonna keep it short and just put it to 0. And then the font weight, bold is fine. I think it works quite well. You can change the text here if you're not happy. Just gonna select it and delete it. Then build with ConvertKit. I'm gonna disable it. And now to change the image, actually we cannot click on it, which is a bit different from other. But if you go to general styles, you can edit the background here. So I'm gonna replace it. I have here my thumbnail, like this one, the book. Now the colors are a bit off, so I'm going to change this color to something else because now they just don't fit. So I'll keep it a bit simple and make it dark like this. Now let's say the form is ready otherwise, so the design, you're happy with it. There's few settings you need to set here. You have here the general one. So after somebody subscribes, what do they see? Like, this is the text they will see after the subscription. Or you can also redirect them to some page. So for example, you could create on your website a thank you page for subscribing. I'm gonna just keep it to success message like this. Then you can also select custom domains. Right now we don't have. I'm gonna just select what we have and create the page URL. But to be honest, this is a form I'm not gonna use for anything else. It's just gonna be on my website. So this is not necessary. But you could also create like a page out of this form. Then you have the incentive.
The incentive email is same as having a confirmation email. So your subscribers need to confirm that they want to sign up to your newsletter. It's like having a double opt-in. There's a debate in the email marketing community if you should have this or not. If you disable double opt-in, you will have more subscribers faster, but by enabling it, you will have higher quality mailing list. Now, when starting out, I would disable this just so that you get some subscribers and just encourages you to continue. However, since I'm sending a freebie as an exchange for signing up to the form, I will keep this enabled for this tutorial because I will disguise the download link as the confirmation. This means only people that downloaded my freebie will end up on my list. If you want all people to end up on your list, then check this auto confirm new subscribers checkbox. So I'm gonna keep it to this. And now after confirming redirect to, there's a URL, but actually I'm gonna let them download my free ebook. So I'm gonna select download and then choose a file. And I have here YouTube secrets PDF. And if you're curious to find out how to create a freebie, an ebook, or a guide, it's super easy with a tool called canva.com. And I have a tutorial how to do that. You'll see that tutorial in the top right corner of your screen. So if you click on that, you can learn how to create these ebooks or guides for free, and you can style it as you want. You can just make it very pretty. So here's a few examples of what you can create with the templates that Canva has. And then we can also edit the email content. This is the email they will receive after signing up to this form. So you can use here important and confirm your subscription, but you could make it a bit more interesting. Is like, here's your free ebook. And here you can just adjust the text to just make it more interesting. Something like this. And now we can adjust also the button and make it more compelling. Like this. So something like this. Please spend a bit more time than this, but this is just to show you what you can do here. And then when people click on this, they can actually just download the ebook. I'll show you how to do that in a second. And let's click on save. All right, and then one more tab, you have this advanced tab. I would just keep it at default, it's fine. This is not a problem at all. The only thing is, if you want to have if you start seeing there's a lot of spam that sign ups to your newsletter, you can also have this invisible reCAPTCHA. This will make sure that there's no robots that actually try to sign up. So I'm going to actually check that. I think that's quite useful. And then just click on save. Okay, you can see that I already got my account approved. It was really quick actually. So I guess there's always somebody checking these. And as long as you sound legit and you're doing the right thing, you should be fine. So they provide some information here. I'm going to just close this one here.
Now, in case you notice, I actually don't like this template anymore. You can just come here in the general styles and then click on change the template. So for example, instead of this, maybe I want to have a text that kind of says, okay, I actually want to have a subtext here. So I can select this one. So you can see now it changes. Now, in this case, my image kind of got cropped. So I'm going to go back and change to Charlotte, the one that I had before. All right. This just looks more cleaner. Once you're done with everything, you can preview your pop-up here. So this is the form. And this is how it's going to also display on your website. And I'm going to exit the preview and I'm happy with everything and I'm going to publish it. Now to publish it, you get these options to embed on your website. Now you could use a WordPress plugin if you're using WordPress, but I actually just prefer using JavaScript like this one here or HTML. It's up to you which one you prefer. So I'm going to choose JavaScript, copy. Now I'm going to head to my website. So this is my website and I'm in WordPress and I'm using a page builder called Elementor. And the good thing, this embedding works on any page builder because all of them have the same feature. So let's say I want to place the form at the bottom of this page. You can see I already have one form here, but just to show you, I can now search for HTML and I'll drag it here on the screen. And now I can place that code that I copied earlier and paste it in here. Now you can see that it already loaded my form. So if I update this page and then preview the changes, just need to scroll down to the bottom of this one and you see that I have this form. Looks really great. The only thing I would now change to this is that it's on a white background, maybe make it gray because now it's white on white, so it doesn't really fit, but you get the point. This is the form and now I can use this to sign up. Oh, that was the name, so let's grab that and I'm gonna put my name. Send me the guide. Now, if you're in Europe, this is the setting we set before. You can see that you get this kind of GDPR compliance pop-up. It's not the prettiest. If you're not happy with this, you can just remove it from the settings. And this is just something that the user has to fill in. So I'm not gonna select anything and just click on subscribe. And now I should get an email about my subscription. Okay, you can see now that I have the email. Here's your free ebook. And if I go inside of it, you can see that now I can download the ebook. Now you can see this be careful message shows up here, which is not a good thing. And the reason it's doing this is I'm sending it to myself. It's from the same domain name, which is also my email. So it's a bit more iffy about it. But I know it's me, so I can just click on download your ebook. And when I click on it, it just goes to the PDF and now they can grab this ebook. And now if I get back to ConvertKit, I'm going to just close this tab and close this one. And let's get out of here. We're ready with this one. Let's click on the dashboard. For those that don't have a website, let me show you how to create a landing page. So we go to grow and then landing pages and forms. And then we can scroll down and create a new one. And this time we're going to select landing page. There's a lot of different templates. You can see much more than for the forms just because these are like standalone websites basically. Now I'm going to keep it simple. Newsletter. There's a lot of options even for newsletter, but I think I'm going to go with this one. I like this layout. I'm going to choose it. And I'm going to use similar text that I already have for the form. So it's all about that free ebook. I'm going to add also a text here like this. Subscribe. And if you click on the plus, you can add another field. And from here, save as custom field first name, and it's required. You can keep other settings as default. And then I can just come here and drag this above the email address. I'm going to change this button as well, just to have it a bit more interesting. Text will be get it now. And this text I want to remove, just annoys me. I'm gonna keep this one. So the color I didn't change. Let's choose another background color, something more like blue, like this. And then I'll change the border radius again to 0. Just better style that way. Font weight is up to you, and this looks fine right now. And I actually need to change the picture. So if I click on the picture, I can replace it now. You can also, instead of using your own images, you can use Unsplash or Instagram from your profile. Unsplash is a free image library, and you can take a look if there's something that you like. But in my case, I'm just going to promote my book like this. Okay, just again, gonna adjust that color. Not super happy with this one. So let's say make it more brown like this. Okay, and I want to change also the background. So if I go here on general styles, and in general styles, you can change more things. So for example, I don't like that color. I'm going to change it to something like more gray, like this. Yes. And then I could also change the card color. So this is this part to something else. So maybe something, that looks quite bad. Something more brown, but very light brown would be nice. No, okay, I'll just keep it to white because that works the best for now. And I'm going to change this text. So the headings here, the font, a bit more like what I like to use. Something like this. It looks better already. And now I can save these changes and go to settings just to finalize things here. Again, you can choose if you want what you want to do once the visitor subscribes. So once they've added their details and click on subscribe, what's happening? They're going to see this message, or you could also redirect them to a page. So you could have another landing page that is a thank you page. Then you have the domain name. In this case, I'm going to use the one from ConvertKit. And now we can give it a URL. So for example, free book like this. Add. You can see here, this is the URL for this. Incentive, again, since this is we're trying to get people's email address in exchange for a freebie, this is then incentive email. But you could also uncheck it and do it other way around. But since it's incentive email, I'll just keep it to this. And here you can choose if the people, once they confirm the email, are they landing on a page or are they going to just download something? So I'm going to select download and choose a file. And I have this YouTube Secrets ebook. So I'm going to select it. And now that's how it works. You see it loaded there. Again, there's the advanced settings. So for example, if you want to have invisible reCAPTCHA and some settings if people already subscribe. You have also SEO and analytics. So for example, here you could add a title. I would just use a title that you already created. For example, get your free book. And then add a description. I'm just gonna keep it simple and just add the same as my subtext. This is something, if somebody shares this page on social media, it might show up in that case. So you can also select the image like this. You could also add some analytics. So for example, if you have Google Analytics set up, you could click on this and just add a UAID of your Google Analytics. It's like an ID of your property. And just paste it in here. You can start seeing data in your Google Analytics about how many people land on this page and things like that. It's quite restricted, but still, if you have nothing better, then this is one way to track them. You see that there's other ways as well. Once you're done with everything, you can click on save. And let's click again on save and then publish. Now you can share this on Facebook or Twitter, but I'm just gonna copy this one. And let's go and see how it looks like. You can see that it is now, it's just a web page. So you can now share this page anywhere. You can use YouTube or TikTok, and once they come here, you can then sign up. people can sign up and get their free ebook. Super simple, and this is a great option for you if you don't want to have a website just for this, but you still want to build that email list. Let's close this one and go back to the dashboard. Okay, now that we have a way of actually getting subscribers automatically, now we need to start sending emails as well, right? So let's go into send, and let's start with broadcast. That's like a one-time email. This is no automation, no nothing. It just, if you need to send out an email, these are the best ways. This is the simplest way of doing it. So let's click here on plus new broadcast. Let's add a subject line. And just add some content. This is where you write the body of the email. I'm gonna already prepared something, just added some text here. I have a YouTube video here as well. And then there's the unsubscribe button. This is mandatory, so you cannot even remove it. And if you are using the paid account of ConvertKit, then you can get rid of this one as well. So you can preview the email. You can see it here. Preview. Like this. This looks how it would look like. All right. No, it looks pretty much the same as here. And then if you want to run the A/B test, you can click here. And then later on, when you get a bit more advanced, you can basically have this email will be sent to 50% of people with this subject line and 50% with this one. So you can then later see which one works better. And if you have more emails to come, you can start experimenting what works the best. For the beginners, I would skip this one. You don't really need that. I think it's a bit more advanced. You also need to have a bit bigger subscriber base for this to work. Anyway, let's click on continue. And now we're going to set from address, but we only have one, so I'm going to keep it as this. So now we can select the subscribers. Well, this is about 5 tips of being natural on camera, so I can now choose from here. Not all subscribers. I actually want with the tag. So subscribe to, then you have tags. And then the tag will be interested in YouTube course. And since I have also the other one, YouTube course, so both of these, I want to send the email to these people. Add filter. And now this these are the criteria that it's going to use to send this email. You can choose when to send it. You can choose that to schedule it. For example, well, it's Friday evening. Maybe that's not the best time. I'm going to send it in the morning of on Monday. Let's make it a bit later than 1 a.m. So let's say at 9:45, you'll send it out. If you want, you can add also this preview text. This shows up in the email inbox. So when you have a list of emails, this is the text that will show up after the subject line. Otherwise, the beginning of the email will show up. So in my case, this is the text will show up. But if you want to change that to something else, you could adapt it here. Then click on continue. So ready to send this to your subscribers? Yes, I'm sending it as this. You're just checking that everything is in order and schedule a broadcast. All right, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. You are now sending this email. This is the first email we're sending. And it will go out queued for October 10th, 9:45. So that's how easy it is to start sending emails with ConvertKit. So let's go back to dashboard. Now let's do some bit more advanced stuff. And for that, we will use Automate and the visual automations. But actually before that, we have to go to Send and create sequences. So right now when I'm recording this video, if I look at the pricing plan for ConvertKit, you can see for the free plan, actually the automated email sequences are not part of it. Neither are the visual automations. So that's something to keep in mind. So if you set up automations now, you have it as part of your trial period, which I believe is 14 days right now. And after that, they will stop working. So if you find them useful, then you can consider paying for the tool. Otherwise, you cannot use them. You can just use the broadcast emails and send out emails immediately or at a set date. But to be honest, if you want to use the email marketing tool to full potential, automation is a must. And if you ever use automation in other platforms, this ConvertKit works a bit differently. You first create sequences of emails, and then you can put those sequences into automation. So here, let's click on New Sequence. And you can choose if you want to use a template or just text only. I'm going to use text only just to keep it simple. So we can give this sequence a name. Next, let's write the subject line. I'm going to add just some subject like this one. And then you would just write the email body text itself. You would update this. I'm just going to delete some. Just add the text you want. And once you're done with everything, you could now set when this email will be sent. So for example, send email after 1 day. You could say also immediately. So it sends it out immediately within this sequence. Not immediately like if you publish it now, it will send it, but immediately in the sequence. So I'm going to select 0. And then here on the right, you see emails. So this is the sequence itself. So I can add more emails to this sequence. I'm pressing here. So for example, so I'm going to delete the last one. I just wanted 3 emails in this sequence. So you have the first one. Then you have second email and the third one. Like this. You can see them here. And if I go to the second email, I can now adjust when to send this email. So after 1 day, let's say actually after 2 days, I wanted to send out, and I want to skip the weekends because I don't want people to get bothered by these on weekends. Maybe it's more professional. So you can select here if there's certain days you want to skip. Then if we go into the third email, we can do the same. Choose 2 days like this. And again, you would obviously update the emails to your liking. And for sequence, usually you want to create something useful to the customer. Since this is not a sales sequence, this is a welcome sequence, I would introduce myself maybe, and I would provide a lot of value to my subscribers. No salesy stuff yet. If you want to get a bit more advanced, you can also add some exclusions here. I'm not going to touch on that. I don't think you need it in the beginning. So if everything looks good, you can publish this sequence. And now you see here, it's published. Actually, I need to click for all of them. Let's publish these. Like this. So now you see here, they're all published. And one thing I forgot to add here, so I'm going to just choose any of the emails. You should add something like this to all of them. But basically, you probably want them to click on something like seeing a video on YouTube or somewhere else, read an article. In that case, let's say it's a link like this, YouTube link, and you can create it and make it to a link. And now you would add your YouTube or your website. And now you can select here, tag subscribers who click on this link. Now you can give a certain tag to them. Now, interested in YouTube course maybe is not right. You could also say something YouTube course in this case, or clicked on YouTube course. You could create a new tag. I'm going to choose the YouTube course now because I'll show you why this is important. So YouTube course. Okay, let's go back and let's create a sales sequence as well. We're going to need that in the automation flow in a second. Just add new sequence, text only. And now let's give the sequence a name. And let's name the email just so that we see them clearly. First email. And reminder email. And let's say there's a third one, last chance email. Again, I would adjust when these emails go off. So after 1 day is actually okay for sales, since you're trying to get people into the flow to sell a product. So maybe every day is a good sequence, but you can choose how often these emails go out. And obviously just update everything here so that it's all legit. And I'm going to just publish this sequence. So here, publish, and just need to update some stuff here to be able to publish all of the emails like this. Cool. We have now 2 sequences. So if we go now from here, click on automation, visual automations, and this is where we can actually create something interesting around with the sequences. Let's click on new automation. And if you scroll through here, there's a lot of different templates for automations. You can see here, they've just put a lot of effort in setting these up. Just to learn this properly, I'm going to use an empty automation, but once you get started and you understand a little bit how the automations work, you can use one of the templates. It's just makes it a bit easier for you. So let's start from scratch. And now we can start doing our first automation. We need to choose when this automation starts. So for example, when somebody joins a form or added to a tag, do something with a custom field, or somebody made a purchase. In this case is joins a form, and I want to have the Charlotte form, which is my form that is on my website. I should have renamed it, made it a bit more clear. And speaking of renaming, let's give this automation a name like this. Joins a form and Charlotte form and add event. Now you see I created this. Next step, we actually just going to add this person to a tag. So add or remove a tag. Everybody who signs up through this form, I want to tag them. So these people are interested in the YouTube course. I'm going to select that. And I'm going to add action. So after they sign up, we add a tag to them. And then we're going to wait for a few days. So I'm going to choose delay. Delay for a number of days. Now we can choose how many days we have delays. And we do this so that because we just send out them the free ebook, you don't want to send them immediately new emails. So I'm going to just set this to 2 days. And after 2 days, so you see 2 days, it waits. And then we're going to trigger email sequence. Now we can choose the email sequence. So welcome sequence, add action. So you see now this welcome sequence is triggered. After the welcome sequence, we can now trigger, we could trigger just the other email sequence, which was sales, but that's kind of boring. We're going to add a condition. And in this case, a tag. So if they get this tag, YouTube course, remember that's the tag we added in the sequence.
And the way you get this tag is by clicking on that link in the sequence. That's why it's important to make that tag unique. So then you can say, okay, if somebody has this tag, that means they came from that email or they clicked on the link in the email. So it just means they are interested in the course.
So if they click on the link, they get this tag. You see YouTube course. I'll add that one there. Now, if they click on that, then you can create a certain sequence for them. If they didn't click, you could, for example, unsubscribe the users because they're not really being engaged, or do something else. So let's try the yes one. So if they click on the email, then we're gonna trigger a new email sequence. In this case, it will be the YouTube course sequence, the sales sequence, basically. You can see it like this. Now the sequence will run. And then we could also add more conditions or actions based on that. So as mentioned here, for no, we can add, for example, unsubscribe, add action. Maybe that's quite rough to unsubscribe them, but that is one option you can do. So this is how you create a very simple automation flow. Again, you need to just get started and think about what are the sequences you want to add and what the automations are and in what order. But I would just start with something simple and then expand as you go, as you get more advanced. So once done, we can go back to the dashboard. Next, we're gonna learn how to create a product. So go to earn and then in products. Here, create a product. Let's click on it. You can give it a name and choose if you want to have just pay once or subscription model. I'm going to use the product model or pay once model, and then click on next. Here you can set the price. So let's say mine is $19.99, and then you can allow customers to choose the quantity. What I missed here, you can also, instead of standard fixed fee, you can also have pay what you want and some sort of payment plans if you want to allow people to pay in installments. Then you can choose the currency here. I'm going to keep it to dollars. And if I go forward, now you can choose if you want to sell a digital product, something else, or a newsletter. So what's cool about ConvertKit, you can actually monetize your newsletter. And that's quite unique, I would say.
And the setup process for all of them is pretty much the same.
So digital download, I'm going to keep it to that. And now you're going to upload the file here. Let's do that. Uploading this PDF. Cool. Then next, you can customize the domain, and give it a name. So you see here page/products, and this is where you can see the product. So let's create the product. This is where we're going to customize the product. So again, it's quite simple. You just click on the image. Here you can add the image itself. Oops, I went wrong. Let's replace. And I'm going to add this one as an example. And you can stylize everything here. Give it different style if you want to. Add a bit of description. Get it now. That looks fine to me. So let's go publish. Actually, before that, save. Publish. Okay, we need to set up the payments before we can publish. So let's do that here. Set up payments. And now it is asked if you're an individual or company, just choose what fits you. Then you have company. Then let's go continue. And then it will take you to Stripe. Stripe is a payment provider. And if you have already an account with them, you can just connect here. And if you don't, just set it up. It just asks a few questions here. And then you're able to confirm and set it up. It's really straightforward. And I just encourage you, if you want to sell something, just go through with it and you'll have a Stripe account.
And Stripe is just used for your payments, and actually you're gonna get the money from Stripe to your PayPal account or whatever you set up. So it's important that you set this up. So ConvertKit doesn't actually handle the payments, but Stripe does that, the payment process itself, like credit cards and stuff like that.
So let's pretend I set it up. Then you have the checkout. Here you can adjust the colors and the fonts. Again, not many settings here, but on the right, you can adjust things if you're not happy with them, make it a bit more on brand. Then you have confirmation. So this is the thank you page. Again, just a few options here on the right that you want to adjust. And then the received email. If you want to say something else or want to adjust it, this is possible right here. So once you're done, just save it and you can publish it then. But again, you need to have the payment method set up. And as you can see, setting up product is really straightforward. I think ConvertKit just takes you through each step. Let's go back to the dashboard. I mentioned in the beginning of this video that you can actually set up a custom domain name. That's what we're gonna do now. So let's go and click on your name here at the top and click on settings. And then scroll down to domains. And if you scroll a little bit, you see you have custom domains. Let's add a custom domain.
Next, we are going to connect a custom domain name to ConvertKit. This makes your landing pages look so much more professional because you're going to have your own domain name as the URL instead of the ugly subdomain that you get with ConvertKit. If you don't have a domain name yet, you need to buy it before you can connect to ConvertKit. I will take you through step by step how to get a domain name in the video that will appear in the top right corner right now. Just click there and it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to set up
your custom domain. So we're just gonna type in the domain. In my case, it will be tipswithpunch.com.
And if you already have a domain and it's pointing to a website, then you should use a subdomain of your domain. So something like pages.yourdomain.com. This way you can have your website and ConvertKit's landing pages in parallel.
Like this. And then select the home page you want people to land. I think I'll just select the Cypress. That's the landing page I created. Let's use that as a home page. Let's click on next. And now you need to update some DNS settings in your domain registrar. So I've registered my domain name at Namecheap. I'm here in my dashboard, and you can see that this is the domain name I want. I want to point at ConvertKit, but you could also go to domain list and find your domain there. Now, this depends a little bit on your domain registrar, so the process might be slightly different.
Just Google your domain registrar's name and then how to add a records.
So you just need to find the DNS settings. So you go to manage in Namecheap. And here you have name servers, but actually what we need is the advanced DNS. So something to do with DNS settings or something similar. Here, if you scroll down, we have these records here. And now ConvertKit is telling us, okay, well, create this type of record, a record, and put this value there. Let's try it. Copy. Here, add new record, a record, and usually you need to add @ here and then IP address like this. TTL, you can keep it automatic or keep it some short time. Accept it. Then go back, grab the other one. Let's create a new one. A record host at like this. Go back. Copy the record, a record. Oops. Need the host. After the third one, let's go back to this one, and we might need to wait 5 to 10 minutes and then click on this validate button. So I'm gonna do just that, wait for a little bit and then click on the validate. Now, funny thing, you saw there that it validated almost immediately, but it said it's not working. But here you can see that it's actually verified. So now if I go to tipswithpunch.com, you can see that I land on my form. So this is the custom domain. And using custom domain just looks so much more professional than just using the ConvertKit's own domain. Now, let's go back to account settings. And what I want to show you, so we are now in settings here and in the domains. And if you scroll here, you can also verify sending domain. And this is really important once you get into it a little bit. They even here, they say that it's better to do it if you send out a lot of messages per month and you have a high average open rate. So, but I just want to show you how to do it. So verify your domain. Again, I'm going to use the same with punch.com and next. And now you need to add these in your DNS settings. So CNAME. So I'm going to go back to my Namecheap dashboard and just go back to dashboard. If you didn't see how I got here, you can go to domain list, or I'm going to go through here. I see my domain name here already. Again, if you use another domain registrar, you just need to find DNS settings or something similar in yours.
Or just Google your domain name, how to add CNAME records.
So in Namecheap, it's under advanced DNS. And then if I scroll a little bit down here, I can add new record. In this case, I'm going to add CNAME. It's here. Go back to ConvertKit, copy this host, place it here, then copy this value, place it here, and then just save it. And another one, copy this value. Again, it's CNAME here, CNAME host, and then copy this value like this. Okay.
Now, for some reason in Namecheap, you need to remove from the host your domain name. So in my case, it's tipswithpunch.com. So I need to remove that part for the CNAME. So let me do that. I'll just remove it from first, then I click on save, and again remove it from the second one, and then click on save. So this is how it works for Namecheap.
Now this will take again a few minutes to propagate. Sometimes it takes up to 24 hours, so it might take a bit of time. But if I go back to ConvertKit and I'll wait a few minutes and then I'll click on validate. Let's try actually, just click immediately.
As you can see, no, it doesn't go through, so it failed. So I'll wait a bit, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, let me try again. So let me click on validate. And this time I see that my domain was successfully validated. I click on finish, and here you see that the verified sending domain, and you can find a bit more information about the DNS records. And then just at the bottom of the page, click on save so that we have everything saved. Congrats, you now know the basics of a ConvertKit, but starting an email newsletter from scratch is pretty hard. That's why I made this video right here, where I will tell you how to avoid the email marketing mistakes that can cost you hundreds of subscribers, especially when you're starting out with this.